Hi everyone, welcome to the Grace Life, guys. So in this video, I'm going to do 3 easy and simple Chanel inspired decor pieces. Okay, so let's jump right into the video. I'm very excited. I absolutely love Chanel items and I want you to join me in trying to create these, guys. So let's start out with the votive and what we're using. So this candle holder, I got this from the Dollar Tree, and I'll introduce each item that I'm using as I do that DIY. So we're using one of their votives. I went ahead and I cut out, and you know I like to use labels, so I cut out this marble contact paper in a label, and then I went ahead and I placed the letters, guys, and that was just for time's sake because sometimes it's a little hard for me to line these up. So this is what we have. Once we have this, okay, we're going to be using that, and we're also going to be using these leftover gems just to embellish that votive. DIY number 1, guys. So we're going to start by lining up that, and you know I use the scissors to kind of balance that out so it doesn't move. So what I'm going to do, we're going to lay that down. We're going to peel back that Chanel, that contact paper. Remember, we have the letters already stuck to it. And we're going to center that on this votive candle. Okay, once we like the placement to that, we're going to go ahead and lay that down. And this is what we have so far. Isn't that beautiful, guys? I love working with that marble paper. So now I'm just, like I said, very lightly, I'm going to Mod Podge those letters because I don't want them to peel up, okay? Okay, so we're going to grab, now I have a wet paper towel and it has glass cleaner on it. I'm just going to wipe around it only because, like I said, I'm using a glossy Mod Podge and the votive is in a matte finish. Okay, guys, so this is what we have so far. So now what I'm going to do, like I said, I'm going to use up these gems. So I decided to put some gems along the side here and along the side here, just to use up these stickers, guys. And these are no good, so we're going to put this aside here. We don't like to waste anything. So this is what we have, guys. Isn't that absolutely gorgeous? So this, guys, is DIY number 1. We'll place that here aside. We're going to be recycling this container. Okay, this is one of the plastic containers I finished using. I took it outside and I sprayed this container with a metallic silver paint. Then I went in my stash and got some cardstock. So let me show you. This is, I printed this off of the printer, the Chanel symbol, logo. And we're going to be using this. I'm not going to let this go to waste because I printed out a whole sheet of them, so I cut this out. Then in my cardstock, I kind of cut out some pieces here. This I cut out here, and it says the best memories happen with family, and I really wanted to use that, so we're going to incorporate that somehow. I also like this flower in this particular cardstock, and the cardstock, guys, came from Michael's in one of my Michael's books that were on clearance, so I wanted to use one of those. I then took these letters here that you can get at the Dollar Tree, and I pulled the letters out, and I spelled out Coco Chanel. So with that being said, I laid the letters down on the cardstock, and I cut out the cardstock in that shape. You know, you can get very creative depending on what design is on the cardstock. So what we want to do here is I want to get a wet sponge. So I'm going to put some Mod Podge. I'm going to be very generous because I don't know exactly how much I need to cover. So it's just for an initial laying it down. I'm going to turn this around And then I'm going to use the sponge just to wet that cardstock. I might have put too much water on that, but so what that does is make it a little bit more pliable because this was very stiff. Then I'm going to lay this down. And again, you can do it lower. I'm going to do it up higher because I'm working with that flower. So you lay that down. Let me put some Mod Podge over here because I didn't put enough. Okay, then it looks like we have enough over here, so I'm going to lay that down. Now, at this point, what I want to do is make sure I like the placement, and I do. Okay. Now we're going to go ahead and seal the whole thing. Try to work those bubbles out. So this is what we have. We got the flower. I'm absolutely loving that. We got the Coco Chanel. So what I want to do is I really do want to use this. So I'm going to cut around this here just because I don't want to use that little end piece there. And so you could do this with any cardstock, guys. Just cut around until you feel happy with what you have in your hand, and then we turn around and use the sponge to wet the paper, just to dampen that paper to make it soft. Once we have that, you can kind of move that around and manipulate it. So we're going to work on this side. Since we have the flower on this side, I'm going to go ahead and lay that memory on the side like that. And you know what, at this point, guys, it's okay. I'm actually doing the whole plastic container, which is fine because it'll seal in that metallic paint. I just want to make sure I get this label laying down. I think this is absolutely gorgeous, guys. I hope the camera's doing this some justice here. So we're going to wait for this to dry so you can see what this looks like. Try to lay that down. Usually when this goes to drying, most of the time for me, this will lay down on its own as it's drying. Okay. So before we continue on to the top, I'm just going to give it one last. And if it does bubble up, guys, it's okay with me because it is a handmade project, and it kind of gives the craft character, guys. So now we're going to move on to the top of this. Remember I said I wanted to use that Chanel symbol. So what we're going to do, I'd like to place that on top of the lid. So I'm going to Mod Podge that on top of the lid. And this doesn't need to be wet because it is Xerox paper, it's not cardstock. So I'm going to place that in the center of the lid, and then I'm going to place some Mod Podge on top. And then I'm going to wipe, well, I'm not going to wipe, I'm just going to go ahead and go around the lid and seal in that paint. Okay guys, so that needs a minute to dry, so we're going to move on to the next craft as this one is drying. And then I'll come back and show that to you. So, let me show you what I use for this craft. So now, this is DIY number 3. I took a frame from the Dollar Tree. Now remember, you got to be careful with these because they're not very sturdy. Anyway, this was black. I took it outside. Again, I spray painted this in the metallic gray. So we're going to place this aside here for a minute. This is the glass that we're using. This is actual glass. Sometimes you get plastic, but I did get glass. So I'm going to clean that off just so that it's ready for when we place the Chanel back in the glass here. I'm going to lay this down here. So we're going to be using this crush mirror to embellish around that frame. Okay? Then, let me show you. So this here, even though it got wet, this here were the labels that I printed off the computer. That's what I use on that particular project. These two look like they might have got ruined, but I can still use these 3. So we're going to use that. Then what I use is, I use these stickers here, and I got this off from the Dollar Tree, guys. So this is the cover to this frame. Now they have these letters over by where the poster boards are, at least that's where they are at my Dollar Tree, or with the stickers. Okay, you'll find these letters. This is what I use to spell Chanel. Okay, now the iridescent that you see here, let me just show you. This is a paper bag, an iridescent paper bag. This is in the gift section of the Dollar Tree. I use this as the background to the Chanel name that I'm going to get ready to show you right now. So we use those letters and a paper bag. Okay, we use crushed glass from an old project. And what I did here is I spelled out Chanel on the iridescent paper. This is already pre-measured. I measured it with the backing of the picture frame. Okay, so that's gonna, I placed the letters in there, lined them up the best way they could because sometimes I have a little bit of trouble, so I was trying to save some time. Now I am gonna go ahead and take one of those I call them a sticker, but one of these paper cutouts with the Chanel symbol, and I'm gonna glue that to that. But that's not what we're gonna do right now. We're gonna come over here and we're gonna work with the frame. Okay? And with the hot glue and this crushed glass, we are going to hot glue. We're going to hot glue some of these, the crushed glass onto the frame. So, in one of my videos, I showed how if I use the hot glue and I press that crushed glass onto the hot glue, when the hot glue dries, whatever crushed glass is in there will stay there. I don't feel like Mod Podging, so when I don't feel like Mod Podging the crushed glass, I use the hot glue, and it works very well, just so you know. So we're going to go ahead and do that here so that you can see what I mean. And I am going to be wearing my silicone finger. See? I'm actually liking them. That they are kind of tight, but I am liking them. So we can put a generous amount of glue and work in sections. Okay, and I'm just going to use one of these spoons. And I'm going to lay that glass down. And I'm going to press down. And you're going to press down, and that glue, that will stay. You have a second to move that around before it dries. And take these big pieces off. I don't like like to let anything go to waste, guys, so the bigger pieces that didn't turn around, you can, let me show you what we have. And so now that hot glue does take a moment or two to dry, so you can go around with your silicone fingers and maneuver it. Let's do that again. Okay. Just so long as it doesn't get in the way of placing everything back. Pretty much when the hot glue dries, guys, the crushed glass will stay right in there. You won't have any problems. And you should have something that looks like this. Isn't that beautiful? And it's easy, and as soon as it's dry, I mean, you can go back and reseal it, but I've never had any fallout. Once I know it's pushed into the glue, I've never had any fallout. So now we're going to continue doing that. So you can see what I mean. So now we're going to come down to the bottom here and do the same. We should have enough to go all the way around the frame. I wanted to use this up first. I do have crushed glass, but I wanted to use this mirror first. So the only fallout you're going to get is what's not obviously in the glue. I'm loving how that looks, guys. Look at that. Absolutely gorgeous. Okay. We have just enough, guys, to cover this frame. I'm telling you, I don't like wasting stuff. And look, perfect. And whatever's left over, I don't really need to save that, guys. Isn't that absolutely gorgeous? So again, you use the hot glue, take the crushed glass, and you press that the crushed glass into the glue. The hot glue dries quickly. So the only fallout you're going to get is what's not stuck to the glue. That's why I like to press it down. That's why you need to wear gloves, guys. So this is pretty much done. So I'm going to take that and place it over here. Okay. So this is what that frame looks like, guys. Isn't that absolutely gorgeous? I'm loving this. So now we're going to turn this over. Now the Chanel sign, before I replace this and the backing into that frame, I'm going to just put a dot of glue in the center here of this paper, and then I'm going to just place this only because I don't want it to move. I'm not Mod Podging it or anything because it's going behind the glass. Okay, so we're going to turn this around. Okay, once we do that. Then I'm going to place the Chanel just like this. Back in the frame. Okay, then I'm going to put the stand. Now remember, this is not going to stand upright like this, it's going to stand like this. So we need to make sure that's laying down properly inside of this frame. And then we're going to push the tabs down. Now I'm going to go back and reseal this just to make sure. I don't want any more to come off. Actually, we didn't have much fallout. That was glitter. So, guys, doesn't that look awesome? Wow. I'm absolutely loving that. That is like so glam. Okay, so here is this one. I will be right back with you because I'm going to go ahead and dry that container and we'll be all done with the project, guys. Okay guys, so what you see me doing here is kind of scattering some gems just because I needed some bling. It's not fully dry, but I dried it enough that you can get the idea. So, this container, remember I spray painted this with the metallic gray. We put a Chanel label on the top of this and then we decorated some cardstock. I think it's absolutely gorgeous, guys, how this turned out. I do believe that was DIY number 1, doesn't matter what order. Then we took a votive from the Dollar Tree and I was absolutely loving this votive, black votive with the gold trim on the top. We took a marble label, we cut that in a tag type of label form, and then I spelled out Chanel, decorated that with some gems, and this is DIY number 2. And for the grand finale, this is absolutely so glam. This is definitely me. I absolutely love it, guys. If you decide to redo this craft, please wear some gloves, you know, because this is broken glass or mirror, but you don't want to get cut. And I'm absolutely loving this, guys. So yes, I do enjoy making Chanel, and I do enjoy recreating things. Guys, I thank you so much for watching the video. If you enjoyed the video, please share it, subscribe to the channel, guys. Spread the love, guys. Spread the love. And I will see you guys in the next video.